Welcome everyone for a series of podcasts from Uprime. These podcasts are made in the public interest for people who want to understand about these topics. So what do we have today?
We will be talking about rise in protectionism right now.
Protectionism as in like in JC Road?
More like in countries which are trying to avoid free trade, like trying to reduce free trade.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what's your take on that? Would you prefer something of a free trade? Free trade is supposed to happen. That's globalization, right?
Yeah.
It kind of promotes specializations of different countries, and then they trade their specializations for other people's specializations so that every country grows.
Yeah.
But why would leaders of different countries go against that?
Because like the time it takes for you to produce and the time it takes to hit the market, and consumer prefers one kind of product over the other, and at the end of the day you'll get into a situation wherein like the pace of change of the marketplace is much faster than the rate at which the employment market grows. So there's always a slack in employment market because people lose jobs and they fear that their livelihood is at stake. The pace of marketplace, there is apparently a manifestation of consumer preferences in the marketplace that takes place on a regular basis. If you allow that to the extreme, then there'll be lots of losers. So there is some amount of protectionism in every country. So when people fear that their jobs are at stake, the protectionism is much higher.
So what you're saying is we're supposed to help people at the cost of a slower economic growth.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying how protectionism works.
Right now, I see so many ads or so many YouTube videos or posts about how they say you should use products that are made from your country.
Yeah.
So that's basically telling even though the product is shitty, just buy it because it's from our country. It'll make our economy grow. What do you think of that?
I don't think the idea that your country's economy grows as a result of buying your own product is true. Not at all times. Your consumers will be benefited by choosing the best product at the price at which they find it feasible. There's no point in buying a product which is of a higher price range just because it is made by your 15th cousin. It doesn't make any sense. So you would be much better off as a country in terms of efficiency to buy products, or even for that matter produce or manufacture products if they're only feasible.
How about products that don't actually affect any productivity? For example, buying a soap. So you can buy either a 20 rupees Pierce or 10 rupees Medimix.
No. I think the premise of that question is slightly shaky. So the productivity works even in soaps. The only reason you give a higher price for a product which is branded by a certain company is because of the brand value that the company has acquired over a period of time. Nike sells the product at 10 times the value of the actual sneaker or a shoe. So that doesn't mean that you have to go and buy a Chinese version of Nike because the brand, that's a totally different question altogether. I mean, these two aspects are separate. One is the aspect of getting the cheapest products. When I say cheapest products, non-branded products, let's say.
Right.
What you're talking about in terms of soap example, that is an example in which the brand value of the company is at stake, as a result of which the consumers pay an extra premium. So that has nothing to do with protectionism.
So then it would be a good idea to actually support products that are made from your country in those cases, would it?
Okay, so there is no point in understanding who the buyer is as long as the product is good and the brand, there is a brand recognition.
Right.
And if there is some issue with the quality of the product, you can take that company to court. And all these assumptions, all these basic necessities being true, you go ahead and buy the product. Right. You don't worry about who the manufacturer is at any cost. It doesn't benefit or derail your prospects either way. Yeah, so you could probably think of protectionism in the much globalized sense.
Right.
Protectionism is only happening in first world countries. There's no protectionism in third world countries.
No, that's something peculiar because
Yeah.
I thought that protectionism usually happens in third world countries to help their businesses grow.
Yeah, that's when there is a lot of import from first world country products are being imported into third world countries. So that's when a phenomenon of protectionism happens in a third world country.
Yeah.
So when third world countries are exporting much higher, and
Right.
all first world countries, let's say 32 countries of OECD, all 32 countries are net importers.
Right.
All of them will have trade deficits in their country, as a result of which they'll be buying more products from third world countries. So this will hurt their manufacturers.
Right.
So they will lose jobs essentially. So protectionism, you could probably think of why all extreme leaders are kind of leaders like Marine Le Pen from
Right.
France, or Jeremy Corbyn from UK, or even Donald Trump, or any. If someone would have said like some supporter of KKK would back you and you would actually win the presidency, that would have been laughable 5 years ago. Now it's the reality. The National Front government in France has a realistic chance of coming back in France, which was unthinkable only 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Jeremy Corbyn was sort of a joker in UK. Now he's the leader of the opposition. So things of this nature are happening around the world because the first world countries have to come to grips with the fact that they don't have the labor force to invent new industries of the future. As long as they have the shortage of labor to create industries and keep this economy going, this is going to even get worse, probably
Right.
result in a war or something. But that not happening, there'll be gradual appreciation of third world countries over a period of time. That's about it. That's a wrap from us today. This was about protectionism in 21st century. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Come back and listen to more podcasts next time. Thank you.